Got some more music for you. Got a special interview coming up in a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes. We're going to talk to Mindy Murray of the River Drivers, and she's got a lot going on, and we're going to talk about the album and the tour and dates that they have going on, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to kick the set off with the River Drivers. We're going to hear a track called Blair Mountain and a couple other ones. So stay tuned here on WUSB Stony Brook 90.1 FM.
This is Bugs Bunny. Along the way, I've heard of some folks getting mixed up with hard drugs, like smack and downers. Now let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with sharing a good, healthy carrot with some pals before a show. But stay away from those bad, hard drugs, unless you want to wind up asking me, what's up, Doc?
You love the game. You love your team. And you love your friends and family. So to get home safely, you hand off your keys to a sober, designated driver. America's all-star team of sports leagues, stadium service partners, brewers, broadcasters, and traffic safety experts thanks the sober, designated drivers who make sure you buckle up and get you home safely.
This is Pat Simmons, Aaron Porter of the Doobie Brothers, and we're here to say a little something about hard drugs, in particular heroin and barbiturates. You may not think that you're going to get hooked, and you may not think that it's going to hurt you, but in the long run, it will. Right on.
Hi, this is Danny Seraphin, the original drummer with Chicago. You're listening to WUSB in Stony Brook and the Spin Zone with... I hate these things.
What's more with feeling?
Yeah, and what's more... Don't you hate that? Hi, this is Danny Seraphin. Listen to WUSB in Stony Brook on the Spin Zone with Jersey Jim.
Hello, kiddies. This is Alice Cooper on the Spin Zone with Jersey Jim, and you better listen, or I'll bite your face off.
This is Dennis Dunaway. You're listening to Jersey Jim, WUSB, Stony Brook.
Hi, this is Michael Bruce of the original Alice Cooper Group, and I'm here with Jersey Jim, WUSB, Stony Brook Radio, and be there or be square, baby.
Crawling up Blair Mountain, rushes dense as coal. So close you feel their breath upon your baby, so close they could steal your soul. We have a list of vague demands and basic already all. The right to speak and organize and assemble in our union hall. basic are they all. The right to speak and organize and assemble in our union hall. Now Keeney and Mooney met the governor. Turn around, or you'll be tried. Troops wanted and killed two of our own in Sharples down at the Logan County line. We have a list of 8 demands, and basic are they all. The right to speak and organize and assemble in our union hall. So chafed and raised an army, deputies, mine guards, and cops. We miners never will fire on our own, so we surrendered right on the spot. Now, scattered on Blair Mountain, 60 men lay dead. 12 of them were miners, they were cut down by Chapin's men. They were cut down by Chapin's men. And 4, they were Chapin's men. Thank you.
From Kensington up to New York City, 100 miles and a hope for publicity for the cause. She'd give those rich men pause. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. That's what she said. She just ain't forgiving anymore. She just declared war. No child shall be slaughtered on the altar of profit. Too young to carry their families so hard hit by the mines. But it happens all the time. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. That's what she said. She just ain't forgiving anymore. She just declared war. Where are the papers? She called them all out. Can't help you, ma'am, you've got no clout, so take your walk. The mill owners own all the stock. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. That's what she said. She just ain't forgiving anymore. She just declared war. From Bristol to Marsville to the city of Princeton, with drum and fife and the help of the citizens on the way, they got just one chance to play. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. That's what she said. She just ain't forgiving anymore. She just declared war. To Oyster Bay, you see Mr. President painted his sold the lands and made the carpets for his residence at the shore. And he just slammed his door. Pray for the dead, fight like hell for the living. That's what she said. She just ain't forgiving anymore. She just declared war. Yeah, she just declared war. Oh, she just declared war. Thank you.
acre farm, farmhouse and livestock, orchard by the barn. Throw in the plow and the car. Who'll start bidding on this farm? It's going once, going twice, so. It's going once, going twice, so. Charlie bought near Torresdale, got it for a song. Martha had 9 children there, one more came along. But dreams don't stretch out that far. I hear 1,000 for this farm. It's going once, going twice, so. It's going once, going twice, so. They planted beans and corn in the field out back. They just couldn't sell enough to pay off the tax. Telling the kids was pretty hard. I hear 2,000 for this farm. It's going once, going twice, so. It's going once, going twice, so. A tractor was not into cards, they used a horse and plow. And in the shadow of Billy Penn, they raised chickens and cows. But in the end they stood there arm in arm. I hear 3,000 for this farm. It's going once, going twice, so. 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 Pieces were their final hope, they took them into town. But in 1929, no buyers came around. Fruit and hope dashed upon the ground. Do I hear 4,000 for this farm? It's going once, going twice, so. 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 Thank you. The farm actually was sold for $4,000. That was the price.
WUSB Stony Brook 90.1 FM and W297BM Stony Brook 107.3 and on the World Wide Web at WUSB.FM online. And what we just heard was a few tracks from a brand new album called The River Drivers. We heard a track called Blair Mountain. We heard Children's March. And the last song that we just heard was Going Once. And I have on the phone to talk about this album. Her name is Mindy Murray. And I'd like to welcome her on the air. Can you hear me, Mindy?
Yes, hi, thank you. Very excited to be here. Thank you, Jim. We really appreciate the offer to come on and talk about the record and music and whatever else you want to talk about. So great.
You're quite welcome. First off, let's talk about the album. It's kind of like a concept album. It seems like there's a lot of union-orientated songs and some really good material on here. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. The record was taped live last year up at SteelStacks in Bethlehem. Our music tends to gravitate a lot towards songs that are about working people and labor and unions. And the set that we did up there had a lot of this music in it. So we were fortunate enough to have the sound engineer there, tape it, through the board for us. So we were real excited. When we started putting it together, we realized, this is some of our best, union songs, some of our best labor songs. We should really, get this together as a record and put it out on Labor Day. And that was the whole concept of it, was to release it on a day when people were really, trying to find some music to listen to that kind of held the spirit of the moment. And also, heading into, an election season and things like that, you just, you wanted to, we always want to have our music make a difference rather than, just be entertaining, so it seemed like the thing to do, and we did it. So the record's called Live at SteelStacks, and it's, we've been, really proud of it and excited to share it with people.
Now, any of these tracks that you have on this live album, have you done anything with them in the studio, or is this?
Yes, actually, all of these. We have two other records. Our first is a self-titled, which was put out in, I think, 2015, and Blair Mountain was on that. That was actually our first record, and Blair Mountain was actually the only original that was on it. The rest were more labor and Celtic songs, songs talking about social justice from kind of both sides of the Atlantic. So we tested the water by putting out my Blair Mountain. I had spent some time in West Virginia. I was a medical student down there, and we spent some time down there, taking care of miners and their families, and really got, and kind of ingrained into the culture of the mines and the unions and the organization down there. But that song worked so well that we put out a second album called Big Oak Road, and Big Oak Road had a lot more original material on it, like maybe half and half, and there we were able to explore more of our songs, like Children's March. We wanted to write a song about how Mother Jones, who was a great labor organizer, actually marched through our town. We're from Bristol, Pennsylvania, marched through our town from Philly on her way up to New York to kind of confront the factory owners and even the president at the time, Teddy Roosevelt. So we put that that on there, and I have a couple other songs that I had written about through oral histories in my family about my grandparents losing their farm at the start of the Depression for back taxes, and them growing up, kind of as farmers working other people's fields in the title song, Big Oak Road. So, there's a whole lot of great Celtic music in there from, folk songs from Ireland that have these same predominant themes of working people and the need to, really, safeguard the working people and the hard lives that they lived. So that's this, and now this record is Live at SteelStacks, which has, I guess, 2 or 3 new tracks on it that weren't on the 2 previous records, and they kind of fit the theme, so we put them in as well. So that's kind of our discography in a nutshell there.
What I was going to ask is, this group of songs, did you do more than one show and then just pick the best show that you did? And
No. This is all from one show. The show was about an hour and a half, and it was part of a festival they were having called the Sláinte Festival. As we do a lot of Irish and Celtic folk songs as well. So we were part of that on the SteelStacks stage up there, and then we just listened to that tape from that one concert that one night, and just pulled out the ones we thought like really went together well and would make a great album. To have a live album is so special. To be able to hear the responses, and it was really a special thing to be able to do, and we were so grateful to the sound engineer who was Matt Stengel on it, so Matthew Stengel. It's fun. It's funny how somebody will just kind of dance into your life and help you out and actually give you such a gift as a recording, of a live concert. So we feel very fortunate, for having done it and having had somebody be able to record it for us.
Tell me a little bit about some of the musicians that you have on the album. I don't want to leave
Sure.
them out. They got a really great...
No, absolutely. Kevin McCluskey, he's our lead vocalist. He plays guitar, mandolin, banjo. He's just wonderful. His voice is just wonderful. He sings with a great passion, as you can tell, in these songs, and he does a lot of solo work, more in the Irish ballad vein. He has a residency in Philly every Sunday at a pub called Fergie's, and we all try to come and join him whenever we can. We have Marion Moran, who is she actually has a place in Ireland, and she plays our Irish whistles and our concertina, and she actually took us over to play at a festival in Ireland, the Cup of Tay, which was a wonderful experience, for the band. It rounds out with Megan Rattini, actually, who's my daughter, who plays fiddle and Irish flute and sometimes a silver flute, and she her experience is in the folk music realm. She was when she was up at Douglas College, she was helping to run the New Jersey Folk Festival for a while. So, and then myself, I rounded out. So there's the four of us, and it's kind of a neat band because it's kind of bi-generational. Like Marion and I were college roommates back in the day, and that's when I was playing, coffee houses and things up, as into the 70s and so on, and Kevin and Megan were actually classmates in grade school in our hometown. So there's a lot of family connect. There's a lot of deep friendship connect. It's a very warm and fuzzy feeling to play with this band. They're just wonderful people, and they're totally like and are family. So yeah. So
well, one of the things about this album, which is like I was saying before, it's very important that some of the songs in this album get out there, because as we get older and the younger generation is growing up, they need to know more about unions and how important they were to us, and still are. The minimum wage, the 40-hour work week, all things like that were brought up from unions, and we have to continue.
Exactly.
That. In the 50s, I think General Motors was the biggest job provider in the country, and they were all union.
Right.
And now Walmart is the biggest employer in the country, and a lot of those people aren't making a wage that they can live off of. It's not like people want millions and millions of dollars. Everybody wants to be rich, but everybody also wants to be able to go home and have a meal and have a roof over their head and not have to worry.
Absolutely. It's all about, living wage and just respect, for the work that people do, and understanding, how important that is to everyone. And, we totally agree. And that's, music with a mission, we just really feel, that the social justice topics are so important, and this is one way that we can do it. We're
exactly.
We're not politicians, and this is what we can do. So yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Franklin Roosevelt was the one that established the minimum living wage, and since that started, it hasn't gone up along with the cost of living. So
no.
Something needs to be done at some point. I mean, we don't want people starving and homeless in the street. I mean, this is America. It's supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and we shouldn't have to have people living in squalor and poverty.
And we shouldn't, and we should have health care for all. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that we would want to touch on, to just hold out to people to try to understand that you know, we can do better. You know, so yeah, and just to have respect for the people who came ahead of us, who forged those, you know, to give us those rights. So we released a couple singles along the way. One of it was called "Did You Vote?" and it's actually a song about, you know, the suffragettes and women getting the vote, and you know, so we you know, have a lot of respect for those people who came ahead of us, who really fought the hard fights. You know, like, we're just singing about them, but they were actually fighting the hard fights to get these rights and to you know, get everybody, try to get everybody on a equal playing field.
If I'm not mistaken, the right to vote for African American women, they didn't get the right to vote until the 60s, I believe.
Right. So, I mean, you know,
it's not too long ago that, you know.
It's not. It's scary when you look back, especially like at my age, when you look back and you say, geez, that wasn't that long ago.
No.
No, that was like, you know, in my lifetime, you know, it was, you know, you think you've had these rights all along, but you really haven't.
I think overall, I think women didn't have the right to vote until 100 years ago. Which some people may sound like 100 years is a lot, but, you know, 100 years, you know, it's
no.
We haven't come a long way yet. We've come a short way, but we need to do more. And
absolutely,
it's artists like yourself that gets the message out there. Whenever anything happens in the world, the folk music community wakes up right away, and we need the folk music industry, because they're the ones that give us the message and let us know what's going on and what's good and what's not good.
Right. We try to beat that little Jiminy Cricket. You know? It just says, wait a minute. You know, yeah, and we just love doing it, and that's you know, like I said, you know, you feel like your music maybe has a purpose somewhere, you know, to just really. You know, get the relevance of the situation.
Exactly. So, now, you mentioned before that this live album that just came out, it's called The River Drivers Live at SteelStacks. All the songs from that show aren't on here. You took a few.
No, right? Yeah. That it would have been an hour and a half, and we weren't really ready to do a double album. so yeah, this is probably about half of them. You know, this is about half of the songs. So the other songs were very, you know, all very much in the same vein. You know, we tried not to repeat too much with the records that we already had out, but these versions were just so good that we did bring out, you know, maybe 7 or 8 of them, you know, repeated. And it is fun to go back and listen to the studio version versus the live version, because you realize how, you know, you really, each time you perform, you really put yourself into it, and it just like morphs a little bit, you know, and everybody, you know, we've been playing together now for 10 or 11 years. So we all have a very good comfort level with being able to kind of morph like that in real time, you know, it's really fun to listen to the different versions, you know, and see how we've come along, and you know, you know, where we can go.
That's one of the questions I usually ask musicians. That, you know, some of them like to have their stuff well rehearsed when they go into the studio, so they don't use up more time than they normally would. But then some of them, they just go in there, and it's a studio version, and then they go on tour and they play that song a bunch of times, and all of a sudden it changes. The live version may be more uppity or whatever, and you may have extra instruments. So it's interesting. Like, you go into the studio after playing these songs for a bunch of years, you can pretty much go in the studio and go right through and make a recording or whatever. But when you have a new song that hasn't been out on the road, it hasn't really been played a lot, and sometimes maybe if you don't analyze the song enough, you don't get all the nuances that you might be thinking about in your mind.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even like that first record that we did when we put Blair Mountain on, I was actually still writing that in the studio. Like we were actually, my brother had like this great suggestion for the song that like structured it into having a chorus, which turned out to be like the main, one of the main driving parts of the song, and so we were actually like in the studio saying, okay, let's record Blair Mountain, and then changing it, to have this, and that was the first time it was ever recorded. And since then, we've morphed it a little bit, but that was like a major structural change, and it just worked. It was phenomenal. Like my brother Tom, he's helped us with all of our records. He's a musician as well, and Tom Murray. And so, like I said, we've been fortunate to have a lot of good people who have shown us the ropes and who have, opened their studios like you up to us and things like that. And, but yeah, it always is an adventure, to try to tape a song, and then we do try to rehearse. I shouldn't say try. We do rehearse before we take it on the road, before concerts. Just a plug. We are having the big record release concert at the Falzer Club in Philly this coming Thursday night, which we're really excited for as well, and we have been practicing for. So that's in East Falls, Pennsylvania, but it's the FalzersClub.com for tickets. We're looking forward to that. We're playing with the James Byrne Band, who's an Irish folk singer who has a wonderful band we've crossed paths many times with. So we're looking forward to that as well.
In case you're just joining us, you're listening to WUSB Stony Brook, and I'm talking to Mindy Murray of the River Drivers, and it's got some really great music. And one thing I noticed on your calendar, you played at a place called the Albert Hall in Waretown, New Jersey.
Oh, yes. We've actually played there about 10 or 12 times. It's one of our favorite places.
That's about 10 miles from where I used to live. I used to live in Manchester, New Jersey. And it's like right down the block.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a great place. I mean, when you walk in, have you been there? Have you gone into the hall?
I've never been there, but I've seen pictures, and I have a lot of friends that go there and play.
Yeah, I mean, you go in, it's kind of like the history of folk music. Pete Seeger helped to establish it, early on, like in the 60s. So you see pictures of him and just a lot of people who have come through. And right now they have a whole new group of people who are running it. They're all volunteers. Everybody, you play there, you volunteer. I mean, nobody gets paid, and the money goes to the Islands Restoration Association down there. So it's just this wonderful group of people, and you're always assured of like a 300 people audience who just are the most wonderful people to play for, that you can imagine. They're so receptive and energetic, and you always feel like you're coming home. I actually am playing solo there on the 21st coming up in a couple of weeks. It'll be my first solo attempt at playing there, which I'm really, really excited about. But, so yeah, and we'll be playing there again in the fall as a full band with the instruments. We just have to set that up yet. So anyway, yeah, that's a great place.
Just want to send a little prayer out to that area. Right now they're going through a really bad forest fire that I saw last night on the news in Beechwood, I think, pretty close to Beechwood. But all of those areas are really close. So hopefully they have that fire under control. Usually the forest fire seasons are usually in August or whatever, but seems like they got a late start. But hopefully they contain that fire. It looked pretty bad last night. But prayers go out to them. And the fire departments in that area, they all do a heck of a job taking care of. They're all volunteer firemen that work in that area, and they're working real hard.
Oh, yeah.
But,
definitely keep them in our prayers. Yeah.
So you have I shouldn't say a bunch of gigs, but you have a few big gigs coming up. You want to tell us a little bit about where they are?
Sure. Sure. Well, like I said, September 12th. That's the Falls Club. That's this Thursday. October 25th, we're playing it in our hometown. A couple of hometown ones coming up. We're playing at the AOH. That's a benefit concert for a family in need. And then in November 21st, we're playing for the Philadelphia Folk Song Society has opened a listening room venue in Naked Brewing, which is on Mill Street in Bristol, and we will be playing that, and we'll be roping that in as a fundraiser for our food bank, our local food bank, which is always in need, especially in this day and age. It's really in need. So those are the things that we have together as a band. We have a bunch of solo things coming up in those next couple months, and then we'll loop back and get some more band concerts going on the road. So that's pretty much, I think, where we stand now.
Well,
yeah.
One thing I like about this area, it seems like the New York and Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Long Island, and the general area, you have the folk music thing going on down in Philly, and you have it going on up here in New York, and there's just so much going on with folk music. Do you have any plans on coming up to New York, or have any gigs or?
No, we would love to, and yeah, we would love to, and we really, need to look into, good venues up there and get up there. I mean, we tend to gravitate more towards the, we've done the whole kind of mid-Atlantic region. We do go down into West Virginia quite a bit. Like last year out into Kentucky. We did the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival. We headlined that last year. So we do have to kind of, move north a little bit, I suppose, and get playing up there, because you do like to, find new audiences and new outlets for your, your material and your messages and things like that. So yeah, if you know any good places, send them our way. We'd be happy to talk to them.
I've been living in Long Island for 20 years now, and one thing I always bring it up on my show too about Long Island is, out here in Long Island there is something musically going on every day. There's always a venue. There's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There is always an artist playing somewhere in some place in Long Island, and that's what makes this island of Long, some people call it. What makes it so great, that they have so many different venues and so much going on musically up here. So
right, very, very cool. With us, like we're kind of an anomaly, or maybe not in this day and age, but we all have kind of intense day jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really, I mean, that's, I think, the only way musicians can work anymore. And so it is hard, it's hard to kind of get everybody's schedule together so that we can, move a little more, a little further. That's why we love to make the records, because, that's kind of on our own time but now, performing live is it's just, that's the rush. I just really love to do that.
Speaking of records, do you have any plans on putting any of these albums out on vinyl?
We've talked about it. We haven't done it yet, but especially with this last one, we've talked about it. So yeah, I tell people to stay tuned. We have a website, the riverdrivers.com, and we put all of our latest information up there. So, if we do end up going that route, we will definitely let people know, because it is such a cool thing. I know, several of the band members are very much, into vinyl. Some of us still have our old vinyl.
Like me.
so yeah, right. so yeah, it's just a whole different feel.
The whole music field is changing in the sense that ever since they started making cars with USB ports instead of CD players, the CD isn't as popular anymore. So it's harder. It makes it harder for the artists to get their material out there. And what usually ends up happening is one song from an album comes out, and then another song comes out, and you never actually get to listen to the whole entire album. Like when we were kids, an album came out, we went home, and it was a listening party. I mean, we heard every single track on the album, and without CDs now, there's no albums, there's no artwork, there's no... You know, some people prefer to have just songs, but I prefer to have a whole album. I want to read about the artist, want to learn about the recording, and it seems like we're in the middle of things right now. And then all of a sudden, vinyl is starting to make a comeback. The record companies are starting to get smart, and they're making these box sets where, you know, I don't necessarily agree all the time with them putting the test tracks out, you know, because some of these artists, they used to refer to it as rubbish. They didn't want to release, you know, a different version of the same song a million times. But then again, you know, some of it could be interesting for a musician like me or yourself. You can learn what, you know, how a song evolved and developed with these box sets. But
and also, I mean, they give you, you know, it gives you more room to really, especially when you're writing songs like we are, you know, to have the liner notes, to like, sometimes I feel like our songs, like they're kind of historical in nature. A lot of them, they're realistic as opposed to you know, more impressionistic, I guess, you know. So you just really, you know, you want to make sure that the story is heard and known, you know, the backstory. So, I mean, albums and CDs, they give you more room to do that, to put liner notes, to kind of have a, you know, just a one source that you can really go to and say, okay, that's where they were at this time, and that's what they were doing, that's what they were thinking, you know. And so yeah, that was the, you know, the whole album thing, you know. You'd pull out the jacket and just you know, just found out a lot of information.
And you get posters, you get stickers, join the fan club paper that would be in there, and you sign up for this. And, you know, I miss all of that. I used to like to look at stuff like that, and you know, you put the record on, and instead of seeing something visual on TV, you can see something visual in your mind and wake up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now, in case you're just joining, this is WUSB Stony Brook. I'm talking to Mindy Murray and from the River Drivers, and I just want to ask you, where can people find your music?
Sure, we're everywhere. I mean, you know, we have Bandcamp is where you can purchase, you know, hard copy. You can get in touch with us, but we're also on Spotify and SoundCloud, and we have a YouTube channel. All of it is listed. If you go to our website, theriverdrivers.com, on our landing page, there is a link to all of our music, and you can stream it. Like I said, you can stream it anywhere. You can buy it. Hopefully you can listen to us live at one of the places that we talked about. But yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, Deezer. I mean, all of it. We're everywhere. So, you know, wherever you listen.
Most artists like to have them go to their website because there's more at the website. And actually the website will take you to all the other links that you provided. You're also on Facebook, too. The River Drivers. If you type in Facebook, River Drivers, your band will come up and all of that. So.
Right, and Instagram. So yeah, if you know, we are easy to get in touch with. You know, if anybody's trying to find our music, and give us feedback. Tell us what you like. We'll do more of it. You know, like it's you know, we hope to get more out there. You know, we all, you know, are interested in that. I have, you know, I'm probably going to be putting out some solo stuff. I do more of of some solo music that is mostly all original. So you can keep an eye out for that. That's MindyMurray.com. But we all but the playing together is much more fun.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's much more exciting. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some more from you, and you're always welcome to come up here to the studio whenever I do my show, and you can come up, bring a guitar, and whatever you want to do.
That would be wonderful. Okay, yeah, we will definitely, keep in touch. That would be great.
It's always nice to have somebody live here in the studio playing music for the people on the morning drive. It's nice to go to work and you turn on your radio and you hear a band like you in the studio playing. It's
right.
Nice and it goes over well. And I have a 2-hour show, so you can do whatever you want. As long as it's within the FCC, I can.
Right. We always are. We're clean. So great. Well, thank you so much. That's such a great offer, and we definitely would love to do that. So
well, we'd love to have you here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Anyway,
and thank you for the interview.
Oh, it's quite my pleasure, and thank you for taking the time out to talk to the listeners out here, and good luck with the album, and I'll be playing some more tracks on it. Is there any particular track you want me to go out on here?
Oh, geez. I would say, your choice. I mean, if you're we ended on Crooked Jack, so Crooked Jack has our goodbye message at the end. It's a song about a man who went to Scotland to try to find work, and what he found was that people looked down upon him. It's a great song, song, Kevin vocal song. It's great.
I'll take us out with that, but right before that, there's another song that I kind of like, and it's called Union Man. So
okay, that's a great one too. Yep.
What I'll do is I'll take us out with Union Man and then Crooked Jack, and then hopefully we hear from you soon. Great. Have some more music. Anytime you want to get in touch and you have something that you want to play or whatever, just you know where to find me. And
okay, sounds great. Thanks so much. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh,
thank you.
You take care now. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Mindy Murray here on WUSB Stony Brook, and member of the River Drivers. And we're going to go right into those songs. The first song is called Union Man here on WUSB Stony Brook 90.1 FM and WUSB.FM online.
It's Tim Stafford's song, by the way. A short life of trouble in a dark and dusty mine. It's been my occupation. Now I walk that picket line. I was down in bloody Harlan when they tried to organize. The miners faced starvation. You could see it in their eyes. The company hired gun thugs. Many miners died, they said. Then come to kill the union, but they lost their lives instead. And it's which side are you on, boy? Which side are you on? You're either for the rich man or the union standing strong. I came to New York City in the year of 43. We were fighting Hitler's army in the war across the sea. But they would not hire a miner to do a workman's job. At 50 cents an hour, my pockets they will rob. I'll never trust a rich man for as long as I draw a breath. To keep his golden mansions, he'll starve, yes, unto death. And it's which side are you on, boy? Which side are you on? You're either for the rich man or the union standing strong. And when my stand strong. And here's to every miner who dares to take a stand, who lives to feed his family and then dies a union man. And it's which side are you on, boys? Side are you on? You're either for the rich man or the union standing strong. Which side are you on, boys? Side are you on? You're either for the rich man or the union standing strong. Thank you.
Come, Irishmen, though the young and stern, with adventure in your soul. There are better ways to spend your days than working down in a hole. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. I cursed the day I went away, the work on that I drove down. For sweat and tears and hopes and fears got caught in that shattering jam. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. The ganger's blue-white boy I was, Big Jack, he could do no wrong. But the reason was simply because I could work hard hours and long. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. I've seen men old before their time, their faces drawn and grey. Oh, I never thought so soon would mine be lying that self-same way. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. Oh, they say that honest toil is hard for the spirit and the soul. But believe me, boys, it's for sweat and blood. They want you down in a hole. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. I was tall and true, all a 6'2", when they brought me across my back. By a name I am known, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Coming out. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
give for a 40-acre farm, farmhouse and livestock, orchard by the barn. Throw in the plow and the car. Who'll start bidding on this farm? It's going once, going twice. dreams don't stretch out that far. Draw here 1,000, fall this far. It's going once, going twice, so. It's going once, going twice, so. They planted beans and corn in the field out back. They just couldn't sell enough to pay off the tax. Telling the kids was pretty hard. Draw here 2,000, fall this far. It's going once, going twice, so. It's going once, going twice, so. A tractor was not into cards, they used a horse and plow. And in the shadow of Billy Penn